Right. Hello all. Now we'll discuss the state of occupational structure, meaning the distribution of workforce among the various sectors of the economy at the time of independence, right? So more than 85% of the population lived in villages, and agriculture sector accounted for the largest workforce, and around 70 to 75% of the workforce was dependent on agriculture. And manufacturing and services sectors accounted for around 10% and 15% to 20% of the workforce respectively, meaning 10% of the population were in manufacturing sector and 15 to 20% of the population were in service sector, and remaining maximum 70 to 75% of the population were in agriculture sector. So in this way, at the time of independence, the occupational structure can be identified. Okay, right. So another point in growing, another point is regional variation. That means parts of the then Madras Presidency, Maharashtra and West Bengal witnessed a decline in dependence of the workforce in agriculture sector and increase in manufacturing and service sector. As I said, in mid 20th century, few industries were established in the presidency areas of British, that is Madras, Mumbai and West Bengal. Okay. So because of these textile industries and jute industries, the people in those regions were turned into manufacturing sector, right? Yes. And now we will see the state of infrastructure at the time of independence. So during the British period, basic infrastructure like railways, ports and water transport and post and telegraph were developed. But what is the real motive for developing this basic infrastructure? To provide basic amenities to the, this was to provide basic amenities to the people. So the real motive behind for the development of this basic infrastructure was not to provide basic amenities for the people. It is to fulfill the interests of the British, right? Then, if you look at the roads, before independence, roads were not fit for modern transport, and it was very difficult to reach rural areas during the rainy season. Okay, and roads were built only to serve the purpose of mobilizing army within India and for transporting raw materials to the nearest railway station or port. Okay, that means roads were not laid for the welfare of the people of India. They were laid to fulfill the interests of the British. Okay, and the railways. So British rulers introduced railways in India in 1850s and operations were started in 1853. And railways enabled people to undertake long distance travel, and this resulted in breaking geographical barriers as well as cultural barriers. Okay, what is the meaning of this? So once we move from our place to another place, definitely we will encounter the new culture and traditions over there. Okay. So next, these railways fostered the commercialization of Indian agriculture and adversely affected the self-sufficiency of the village economies. Okay, so this absolutely affected the self-sufficiency of the village economies because the people were forced to grow indigo and cotton instead of food crops. This led to food crisis as well. So hence, social benefits provided by the railways far outweighed by country's huge economic loss. You know, most of the people in our country, they appreciate Britishers for laying the railway lines. Okay, and they ignore the real intention behind the establishment of railway system in India. Okay. So the real intention or the motive behind the establishment of railway networks was to exploit the resources in India and to transport the manufactured products to every nook and corner of the country, and also to transport raw materials from different parts of the country to the port areas. Okay, right. And the next one under infrastructure is water and air transport. So the development of water transport basically to serve the British colonial interests. And the colonial government also initiated the aviation sector in 1932 with the establishment of Tata Airlines. At present, this was known as Indian Airlines, right? Okay, this was established by J.R.D. Tata. Okay, next, communications. So modern postal system started in India in 1837. So the first telegraph line was opened in 1850. And the introduction of the expensive system of electric telegraph in India served the purpose of maintaining law and order by the British. Yes or no? Through post and telegraph system, the Britishers used to transfer the information from one presidency to another presidency, because information is very crucial to make country integrated. Okay, so information is very crucial to control the law and order in the British India. Okay, that's why they developed the communication networks to transfer information from one presidency to another presidency. Yes or no? We have discussed the the powers of Governor of Bengal in our polity lectures. So the Governor of Bengal was made as a Governor General of India, and later they introduced the Viceroy system. Okay, so that means this administration had been made possible due to the establishment of post and telegraph systems. So without this, the information cannot be transferred. Yes or no? Right. Okay. So in the next video, we will discuss the state of demographic transition, meaning the change in population patterns of India, okay, before independence and at the time of independence. Thank you very much.